Joaquin doesn't seem interested in another quiet power move anymore. If he really has access to evidence tied to earlier violence and chooses to involve law enforcement, that shifts the conflict from ranch politics into something permanent. But there's a risk here. Revenge stories in this universe rarely stay targeted. If Joaquin moves against Rob Will publicly, he could accidentally expose allies, old cover-ups, and everyone who stood nearby when earlier decisions were made. The trailer appears to frame Rob Will less as a rival, and more as a ruler trying to control outcomes through fear. That creates a classic succession problem. Force everyone into loyalty, isolate opponents, then underestimate how many people quietly want change. If Beulah's fate truly hangs in the balance, she could become the emotional trigger that finally turns neutral characters against Rob Will. Rip Wheeler has always survived because he stays loyal and acts decisively. But episode 8 hints at a dangerous scenario. Joaquin makes an aggressive move. Authorities start asking questions. Old enemies redirect blame. Rip becomes the easiest person to pin everything on. The Rip frame for West murder theory sounds dramatic, but it fits a pattern of making the strongest character carry everyone else's consequences. A militia-style bunkhouse split would make that even worse. Carter's storyline feels less like romance now and more like identity. After the insult and Harrison reveal, Carter pulling away wouldn't just be heartbreak. It would mean rejecting the idea that he belongs outside the ranch. That could push him closer to Beth and Rip's world. Less trusting, more defensive, more willing to adopt Dutton methods. If that happens, Episode 8 might quietly set up Carter's long-term transformation rather than focusing only on the revenge plot. My red. Joaquin gets close to taking Rob Will down. Rip ends up blamed for something he didn't fully cause, and Beulah's situation becomes a cliffhanger that launches the next episode. If the trailer is editing aggressively, the biggest twist may be that nobody actually gets the revenge they're chasing. Create script on the above. Tonight on Dutton Ranch, the ranch isn't just under pressure. It's on the edge of collapse. One woman's fate hangs in uncertainty. One brother appears ready to destroy another, and one loyal cowboy may become the perfect scapegoat. Episode 8's trailer drops some of the biggest clues of the season so far, and if even half of these moments happen, nobody leaves unchanged. Because this isn't just about who controls the land anymore. This is about revenge. This is about survival. And for the first time, it feels like the Dutton world might be turning against itself. The trailer wastes no time showing that Beulah may now be standing at the center of everything. But what makes this different is that she doesn't look like someone making moves anymore. She looks like someone trapped between them. Every scene around her feels tense. People aren't speaking to her. They're speaking around her. And that's dangerous. Because in ranch politics, the moment people stop including you in decisions usually means they've already decided your future. There's a feeling in this trailer that Beulah knows something. Maybe too much. Maybe she understands exactly how unstable Rob Will has become. Maybe she knows details about the events everyone else wants buried. If that's true, she immediately becomes a problem. Not because she's powerful, but because she's unpredictable. And when fear takes over leadership, truth becomes the enemy. The biggest question episode 8 seems to ask is, will Beulah remain protected or become collateral damage? Every season needs a figure who pushes too far, and episode 8 looks determined to place Rob Will in that role. The trailer gives a feeling of someone losing patience. No negotiations, no compromise, just control. His leadership suddenly feels less like strategy and more like intimidation. That matters because power inside ranch families doesn't survive through fear forever. Eventually people stop obeying. And when that happens, someone challenges the throne. That's where Joaquin enters. For weeks, tensions have been building. Now the trailer suggests he may finally stop playing defense. Instead of surviving Rob Will, he might decide to end him. Not physically, not directly, but permanently. This may become the moment everyone remembers from episode 8. Because Joaquin doesn't look angry anymore. He looks focused. And focused characters are usually the most dangerous. Fan theories are exploding around one possibility, that Joaquin possesses evidence tied to past violence, possibly even access to the murder weapon. And if he hands that evidence to law enforcement, everything changes. No ranch meetings, no private deals, no family protection, just consequences. That move would completely destroy Rob Will's position. But revenge is never clean. Once investigators arrive, everyone becomes vulnerable. Every old lie, every alliance, every secret. And Joaquin may realize too late that revenge doesn't stop where he wants it to. It spreads. Then comes the biggest shock. Rip, because somehow every road seems to lead back to him. Rip has always been the one people depend on. He solves problems, protects the ranch, keeps things moving. But episode May 8 finally show the downside of that reputation. People trust Rip to do difficult things, which also means people believe Rip is capable of difficult things. And that's dangerous, because if somebody wants a believable suspect, Why not choose a man everyone already sees as loyal enough to carry the blame? The trailer hints at growing chaos, arguments, division, groups forming, and that has sparked one massive fan theory. What if Rip gets framed for Wes murder? Imagine that. Not guilty, not responsible, but impossible to defend. Suddenly Rip isn't protecting the ranch anymore. He's fighting to survive it. One of the darkest ideas in the trailer is the growing divide inside the ranch itself. Not outsiders, not corporations, not neighboring landowners. Their own people. People choosing sides. People watching each other. People preparing. That's what makes this feel bigger. This no longer looks like a disagreement. It looks like a standoff. And once ranch families start splitting into camps, everything becomes personal. Friendships disappear. Trust disappears. And loyalty becomes a weapon. If episode 8 goes where the trailer suggests, we may be heading into the most explosive confrontation the series has delivered. While everyone else is fighting for power, Carter may be losing something completely different. Hope. The trailer strongly suggests the relationship damage with Orina may finally become irreversible. The insult, the distance, and then the reveal of Harrison. That moment may have changed everything. Because Carter didn't just lose someone. He lost the version of life he imagined. Now the prediction is darker. Instead of chasing Orina, he pulls away completely. Back toward the Dutton Circle. Back toward what feels familiar. Back toward survival. And that could change him. Not overnight, but permanently. Because pain doesn't always destroy people. Sometimes, it teaches them how to stop needing people. Episode 8 looks less like another chapter, and more like the beginning of a war. Beulah's future hangs by a thread. Joaquin may finally unleash revenge. Robb Will's control could collapse. Rip may become the sacrifice. And Carter may lose the last part of himself, still trying to live outside the ranch. But trailers are built to mislead. So the biggest twist may still be coming. And if this episode delivers what it's promising, nothing at Dutton Ranch will ever feel the same again. What do you think happens in episode 8? Does Joaquin expose Robb Will, or does Rip take the fall?